A very warm welcome to StudyIQ, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you are doing good. Today is 2nd December 2020. And dear friends, if you are preparing for UPSC Prelims 2021, then we have launched a test series. This test series has 40 tests in it. The price is 3,000 rupees only. You'll get flat 50% discount when you use UPSC 50. This is the code. And this is valid till 14th December only. To find out more about it, all you have to do is visit our website, that is testiq.in. To download the PDF of today's lecture, check out my Telegram channel. You can follow me on Facebook as well. You can join my Telegram channel. You can follow me on Facebook. Please make sure that you hit the like button if you believe that you have learned something from today's discussion. Don't forget to share this lecture with other students, and please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. The last straw is being further disabled. This particular article is about rights of people with disabilities. Now, we have this case of Father Stan Swami. Now, Father Swami, he is 83-year-old activist. At present, he is behind the bars, and he is one of the accused. The NIA alleged his involvement in 2018 Bhim Koregaon violence. He is also suffering from Parkinson's disease. Now, I'm sure you know that Parkinson, it ruins your brain. It eats away your brain, and one by one, various different functions of your brain will shut down. So many people, they cannot move their arms and legs, and then later they lose their sense of chewing and so many other things. So this person here, right, Father Swami, now let me tell you one more thing. Whether he is involved, whether he is not involved, whether he played, or whether he is a criminal or not, that is something that the court of law will decide. The thing is, until and unless it is not proved in the court of law that you did something wrong, you are considered as innocent. This is a very important thing for every one of us to understand. And if you have done something wrong, and if, let's say, you stole something from someone else, right? Or you stole someone's stuff, maybe rupee or maybe mobile or whatever it is, right? Or you did any sort of crime. And if court thinks that you should be behind the bars for 1 year or 5 years or 10 years or 15 years, whatever, right? And once you are behind the bar, that does not mean that you are not a human being anymore. What is the main purpose of jail? It is, of course, one basic thing, or the requirement of jail is to punish people. But jail is not just about torturing people. Jail is there so that you will be isolated. When I say isolated, and I mean to say that you will be isolated, you will be ostracized, or you will be, ostracized again is not the right word, but the right word is, I would say, kept away from society. And this will create a vacuum in you. You will realize that what you did was wrong. And, the main purpose, the real purpose of jail is to create this 180-degree turn in you, in a criminal. That if you did something wrong, that does not mean that your life is the end now. You can change your life. Jail is also about a hope, isn't it? If we dig a little bit deeper, then we find that jail is also about hope, that when you will finish your imprisonment, when you will be released, you will be a clean person. And not only that, you'll just not clean from law point of view, but when you will be reintroduced, you will be a better person. You'll be ready for fitting in with society, and society will have no reason to be afraid of your activities, because now you are changed because you were in jail. So it is a punishment to be behind the bars, but at the same time, it's not about torturing people. It is about improving them. This is the main purpose, but we don't really pay attention to that thing until and unless we are kept behind the bars. Then we realize, these are the rights that we enjoy. So we have to be a bit sensitive here. One more thing, that this person, 83-year-old person, he requested for he filed an request for a sipper and straw. Now it took nearly 20-30 days for a small thing, a sipper and straw. All you need is a sort of sipper, and you need a straw so that you can eat or feed this person. Now, NIA said that they don't have a sipper and straw. It takes what, 10, 15, 50, 100 rupees worth item, and you are not giving it to this 83-year-old person who is behind the bars, is suffering from Parkinson's. This indicates that we are not following international as well as domestic laws. On one side, we have our prisons, right? They are overcrowded and underfunded. Situation is very bad. I'm sure you have heard so many things about Indian prisons. On the other side, both international and domestic laws recognize and protect the rights of disabled persons or prisoners who are disabled people who are behind the bars. We have UN Convention on Rights of Persons with Disabilities, CRPD, and India is a signatory to this CRPD, and it clearly says that you need to provide auxiliary aids. If someone is, let's say, if someone is not able to walk, then you need to provide that person with a wheelchair, even if that person is behind the bars. You need to provide that sort of toilet that he or she can use. Then we have Nelson Mandela rules, and these rules are approved by United Nations General Assembly. This rule says that a country or a prison needs to make all reasonable accommodation and adjustments to ensure that prisoners with physical, mental or other disabilities have full and effective access to prison life on equitable basis. We have Article 14 and 21, and we have this Act, the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016. But there is a big difference on the things that we find in the book and the things that we find in reality. As I told you, the fundamental tenet on which Indian criminal law operates is that an accused is presumed innocent until proven guilty. So you cannot treat, and even if someone is guilty, then as well, proven guilty, then as well, you cannot treat that person with that he is not a human being. One particular statement that I find very interesting in this article is that it is the absence of compassion that ultimately corrupts the decency of any society. Compassion, the thing that we discussed earlier on, that we need to think about these people, under whatever circumstances, right? If they have done something very horrid that we hate, then as well we cannot allow our society to take revenge. We need to follow rules and regulations. This is better for everyone and for long-term future as well. So we clearly find an absence of compassion, not only from the government, from people as well. And one more thing, if you again analyze this thing from a different angle, then you will find that a person who is criminal, who is indulging or who did something bad, you will find that he or she is, or they were suffering from some sort of issues. So it is not it is basically, their soft skills. Something is missing in them. Something bad happened with them. You will always find there is always a reason behind it. So when you train them, when you, rather than punishing them, rather than torturing them, if you allow them to, if you train them how to read, write good books, show them good motivational stuff, inspirational things. Meditation plays a very important role, exercise, meditation, and this sort of, training them with soft skills. And we find so many positive examples. This thing may look Gandhiwadi, people may say that this is being too liberal and they don't deserve this sort of thing. But remember, they are not there forever. They are going to come back to this society. And unfortunately, in our country, we take this thing very lightly. But in our country, there are so many criminals. When they are behind the bars, they when they come out, they become even more stronger, and they become more wealthier, because they have this whole, all the criminals. They meet all those criminals, and they create this network through which they can do bad things and make money, and then they become more powerful and things. So we need to break this chain as well by training them. We need to inculcate soft skills in them. The last paragraph of this article is about this, that in his excellent memoir, Just Mercy, A Story of Justice and Redemption, Brian Stevenson writes that the true meaning of a society's commitment to justice, the rule of law, fairness and equality cannot be measured by how it treats the rich, the powerful and the privileged and the respected, but that the true measure of a society's character is how it treats the poor, the disfavored, the accused, the incarcerated and the condemned. It is time for Indian justice system to stand up to this ideal. Second topic is about SCO, Shanghai Cooperation Organization. There are 8 nations who are part of this SCO, and I have one question for you. Can you give me the names of all SCO members? Stick your answer in the comment section. Now, it's been 3 years that we became part of this SCO. India and Pakistan together joined SCO. And it is the only place where you find that we have this regional anti-terror structure. So this is the only forum, a rare forum, where India and Pakistan troops take part in joint exercises under regional anti-terror structure. Now, plan of priority practical measures for 2021-2022 to overcome the socio-economic, financial and the food consequences of COVID-19 in the region was discussed during this meeting, and for the first time India hosted this SCO heads of governments meeting. Now, dear friends, Mr. Modi was not available, so India was represented by Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu. He made a strong observation about this, one of the biggest challenges that this region is facing, and he said that the biggest challenge is cross-border terrorism. So it was a indirect reference to Pakistan. When it comes to China, India also marked its differences with China over the BRI. When this paragraph endorsing the BRI was when it was this endorsing process was going on, India kept away from this BRI paragraph. Clearly, we said that we are not endorsing this Belt and Road Initiative because of this sovereignty issue. The SCO provides India a convenient channel for its outreach, that is trade and strategic ties to Central Asian countries. I'm talking about Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, all these nations, Tajikistan. SCO, they all are part of now. They all are part of this SCO. So, they not all, but there is one country that is not part of it. But anyway, these nations are part. This region is part of this SCO. So it plays a very important role for India to improve its trade as well as strategic ties with them. It is only platform where you find both India, Pakistan with China. So here we know that China and Pakistan, they are good buddies, they are good friends, all-weather friends. That's what they call each other. And on the other side, we have our country. So the only place. But SCO played an important role as well in recent past. During the sidelines of SCO talks, Rajnath Singh and S. Jaishankar met their counterparts. So SEO played a very important role in this, in breaking the ice as far as this LSE standoff is concerned. So when it comes to its success and failure, it's sort of mixed thing. We cannot say that it is one of the most successful place, but yes, it is interesting to find these countries together. Together, these countries are working, like China, Pakistan, and India, under one umbrella. So this is amazing. And there are some positive things like, SEO providing a platform where you find during tough times as well, China and Chinese as well as Indian ministers are meeting with each other. So it's good, right? But again, mixed, right? 50-50. Moving on to next item, this one is about novel coronavirus. It is very important that we find the right source, we find that accurate source of the origination of coronavirus, this novel coronavirus, right? And as far as this WHO is concerned, the progress on the pace of investigation leaves much to be desired. Knowing the natural reservoirs and intermediate hosts and the events that allow the virus to jump across the species barriers are important in the prevention of coronavirus, as well as it is very important for us to have this knowledge for, God forbid, but if we have anything like this in future, something maybe COVID 2025, maybe COVID 30, whatever, then this will help us. This knowledge will help us a lot. WHO's two-member team did not visit Wuhan, the epicenter of the outbreak. The reason is that, China created a huge amount of pressure to make sure that the blame is not passed on China. The reluctance has only increased after mounting international ire over its reporting the outbreak and the huge economic cost of the pandemic globally. China said, means for 2 months, nearly 2 months, China was discreet. China was quiet about this. China kept this thing, everything discreet, behind the bars, behind the wall. It was very opaque. But then later on, people from China, they started talking about this thing, and then the world realized that something bad is going on. And then on 1st or 3rd January, it was, I think it was 3rd January when WHO declared this thing as this coronavirus as a dangerous disease. And I still, this thing reminds me of Australia. When Australia said that we need to know the source, there should be a thorough investigation as far as this Wuhan or coronavirus is concerned, then China was very, very unhappy with Australia. China, in fact, threatened Australia that we will stop doing business with you guys and will not buy things from you and this and that. And, so there is, of course, a strong evidence that the virus originated in bats and probably spread to humans through an intermediate species. But we need to know the right reason. We need to find that missing link for our present as well as for our future. Then we have an interesting article in today's. The interesting thing is that today all articles are from the Hindu newspaper. So winners who disappoint. We are talking about Nobel Peace Prize winners. Back in 2019, Mr. Abiy Ahmed was the Ethiopian Prime Minister, was given this Nobel Peace Prize. The reason why he was given it, because he played a very important role played a very important role in democratizing Ethiopia and befriending with Eritrea. But the latest news is that he launched a large-scale military offensive against separatists. Can you imagine a person who is a winner of Nobel Peace Prize? He is ordering a military offensive. Then we have, it's not the only one. We have 3-4 more examples. President Juan Manuel Santos of Colombia, awarded Nobel Peace Prize in 2016, but despite his image as a peacekeeper, Mr. Santos' presidency was continuing paramilitary excesses and rampant human rights violations by agents of the state. Then we have Barack Obama, In 2009, he was given this Nobel Peace Prize. But shortly after receiving the prize, Mr. Obama ordered an American troop surge in Afghanistan, deepening a bloody war. In 2011, he also backed a disastrous military intervention in Libya and subsequently abandoned it when there was chaos. Then we have the last example, Aung San Suu Kyi. She was chosen in 1991 while in house arrest for her courageous activism against military dictatorship and her campaign for democracy. But once she became state councillor in 2016, she did nothing, I would say. Well, I cannot use the word nothing, to be honest, right? I would say that hopes were quite high. But hopes means people of Myanmar and the world. There's a hope that Aung San Suu Kyi will protect people and protect the diversity of Myanmar, but she was absolutely quiet when it came to this Rohingya issue of Myanmar. And still, we can say that she has not delivered that satisfactory result. So here you have these 5 leaders, and this 5 leaders, these examples forces us to think that is Nobel Committee a flawless committee or a flawless decision-making body? The answer is no. Is there any solution for it? There is. What we need to do is, this Nobel Committee should make sure that it does not give Nobel Peace Prize to a person who is holding a position in politics, right? Incumbent politicians should not be selected. Once you are done with your presidency, once you are done with your prime ministerialship, then yes, later on, after that, they can think, because once you are out of power, then that you have done everything so far. When you were in power, how you behaved and everything, and then if you have done something good, then if you are bestowed with this or granted this Nobel Peace Prize, then that is something acceptable. But giving to incumbent politicians, then later on you find that next year, like the case of Barack Obama, all these 5 cases, right? You see that they were in power, or when they came to power, they behaved a bit differently. Non-leverage for Biden on Iran. I'm going to be very brief here. Just was it yesterday or day before yesterday we talked about this thing, the murder of nuclear scientist Mohsen Fakhrizadeh. Now, Mr. Trump has said that via tweet that this is a psychological and professional blow to Iran. And of course it is. This is a win-win situation for Israel. I explained it to you, isn't it? That if Iran will take revenge, then that will create a distance between Joe Biden and his administration and Iran. And if Hassan Rouhani will stay quiet, that is the Iranian head, if he will stay quiet, then you will find protesters demanding for revenge, because this is not the first scientist, and this is second name as far as I know after Qasem Soleimani. He was also assassinated by USA, and this time it is said that this Mohsen Fakhrizadeh was assassinated by Mossad. So it has also triggered a series of questions concerning the future of Iran-US relationship. It is very important for India as well. When I say India, I mean to say that good relationship between Iran and USA is beneficial for India, because we used to buy oil from Iran, and they buy basmati rice from us, they buy medicine and so many other items. They buy refined oil from us. We buy crude oil from them, and then we refine oil here, and then we sell it to them, and they buy it from us. And there are so many other things as well. But oil plays a very important role. Then you have this Chabahar port, by which you can cater and reach out to Afghanistan and Central Asian nations. So Iran is important for us. Fakhrizadeh assassination could easily damage and diminish any hope for further dialogues with Iran. while the Iranian hardliners are shouting for an immediate harsh revenge. Isn't it? I told you this thing a few days ago, that's what they will do. You have this Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. It's the unique preeminent power in Iran which is capable of replacing Ayatollah Khamenei after his death and is likely to impact the future US-India relations. Just like Pakistan, this IRGC, in Pakistan you have this ISI and army. They have a very dominant role in the politics of Pakistan. In the same way, in Iran you have this IRGC that plays a very dominant role when it comes to foreign policies and things. So let's hope that Iran will not do anything that will provoke Biden administration, and let's hope that Biden administration will also, it will be able to handle this pressure coming from Israel and Saudi Arabia, because these two countries, they don't want USA to endorse JCPOA. So we have to wait and watch, but fingers crossed. Let's hope that things will be sorted out, because another 4 years of sanctions and things will push Iran to produce nuclear weapons, and this is not going to be healthy for the world. So that's everything in today's discussion. You have some news items here, dear friends. 2 items associated with farmers. Then J&K Phase 2 was conducted peacefully. So far so good. India reports new daily COVID cases below 50,000 mark for 24 consecutive days. We have cricket match, India-Australia today. If you are a cricket fan, I'm not a cricket fan. Deep depression in Bay of Bengal, and this is going to be, this is now a cyclonic storm called Burevi that is going to hit Tamil Nadu and Kerala. BrahMos supersonic cruise missile in anti-ship mode successfully test fired, and we have this Joe Biden to formally introduce his top economic policy advisors team today. If you are preparing for UPSC, then we have a dedicated smart course as well. Till 14th December, no cost EMI option is also available. You can download this mobile app and you will find all important information about our smart course. And that's everything from my side. I will see you with another lecture. Till then, enjoy your studies. God bless you all. Jai Hind.